So whatever you need, or, we have one to raise, that's fine. I don't do a formal presentation. We'll kind of walk through, the home warranty process and what makes us different. And I have this kind of agenda to follow, if you guys want to check it out. It's kind of really information that's more pertinent to the agent and how it pertains. Oh, here we go. Hey, Jasmine. Oh,
Look at you.
So, but just to give you some background on me, my husband and I started this company in 2014. So we are locally owned and family owned. And we started it in 14. We piloted it for about 4 years underneath a small brokerage, kind of, get the policy nailed down, figure out how hard it is to get contractors, and just kind of work out the kinks. And then 2018, my husband was in charge at that time, and I was working, I had taken a hiatus in the corporate world, and I was general manager of the gym because I was sick of corporate world. And my husband said, well, we started this company and I know you were never going to run it, but I think you need to run it. And I said, I don't really want to, I don't like working for myself. That's your deal. He had a home inspection company for 22 years. And I was always like, I need a paycheck. I need health insurance. I need steady income because we lived through the recession and my husband was in real estate then. And so I was a little nervous, and he said, well, it's too bad because you do have to run it now because we're actually launching it, in the entire market, and I got investors and we have to pay them back. So I need to quit, quit this job and take it over. And he knew I would never take that leap without, we've been married for 30 years, so he knows me well enough that I liked that creature comfort of a steady paycheck. But in order to get me to take that leap, he went behind my back and got some investors and said, well, we have this loan to pay back, so you better start working here.
Right.
So, we had 3 years to pay our investors back. We paid them back in a year and a half. And we are the sole owners and operators of the company. So we are the only locally owned and operated home warranty company here in the market. And, I think that sets us apart, of course, from a customer service standpoint. As we all know, customer service is huge in this industry. And call centers and things of that nature just become sort of cumbersome. We live in a DoorDash world where everybody can get anything in 15 minutes, so hold times and delay times to get people on site are not ideal. And while a dishwasher is a luxury, people expect that to be fixed like within 24 hours, or it's earth shattering, so.
Not washing dishes.
Right, yeah, so, but we try. I have a team of 4 amazing ladies. They've been with me a minimum of 4 years. I have one who's getting ready to leave because she's gonna be a stay-at-home mom. So I'm sad about that. She was my first employee, at this company, but I'm happy for her to move on to this next chapter. So, I think the service standpoint, that definitely sets us apart. But I also wanted to, when we were comparing, different products and whatnot, we wanted to kind of simplify the product. We don't have a tiered system. And so for the new people in the room, most warranties, and you're going to want to familiarize yourself with every product out there because, you want to be educated and you want to know what your buyers and sellers are getting. But most warranty companies are structured in a tiered basis where there's like a base, silver, a gold, and the coverage varies depending upon the tier, and the deductible also can vary depending on the tier. So it's a little bit different that some people don't know what they're getting, right? They're just buying a home, the warranty's on it. They think the refrigerator's included, but this is not included because it didn't get the gold tier. So we just have one plan. It encompasses all interior mechanicals in the home, such as interior plumbing, interior electrical, interior gas lines, all of the appliances that come with the sale, which for those of you who are newer, that's not standard. Usually the washer and dryer is an add-on. Sometimes the refrigerator is an add-on. There's a lot of nuances. You don't have to be an expert in all of it, but just know, that there are nuances with some programs. Like the refrigerators are covered with some, but not the ice maker, which to me makes no sense because ice makers put brakes, and that's what people use the most.
Cars covered, but not the engine.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Or, they say the refrigerator is covered, but not the ice maker or the compressor. Those are the two components that fail the most.
Right.
So we don't really exclude items that are a part of an appliance, other than if you break a shelf or you break a drawer. I mean, that's more of a structural component of that appliance. Home warranties don't typically cover anything structural, so it's more mechanical. Garage door openers, like I said, gas fireplaces, nothing like doors, windows, walls, or cabinets, things of that nature. So any questions? I tend to talk a lot, so just tell me to slow down. Or I did, I said, Rick said, we don't really have, I said, well, I'll talk all day. So just tell me when to stop. But, so every home warranty also has a deductible that applies when somebody files a claim. Our deductible is $50 and it stays $50. It doesn't, ramp up depending upon how many claims you file. So it's a $50 deductible. And included in our warranty, we offer a free annual heating and cooling checkup visit where we come out and we service the furnace and we service the air conditioner at no charge to the customer. And that's an annual maintenance that is included. The great thing about being an owner operator is, legally I had to put 1,000 terms into our brochure, right? Like we all have to have the red tape and all the things, but we also know we have to put regular thought process to this product. I mean, we're not trying to make lives difficult here. We're not trying to get out of doing claims. We have a 98.2% approval rating on claims. And typically the claims that we have to deny are structural, or they broke a door, or, something along that line. So just to kind of be transparent on that, we flex things when we need to. You might have a challenging deal and you're like, look, I know this isn't something typically covered, or sometimes you typically cover this much. Can we bump it up? Because this is a volatile situation and we don't want to lose the deal or lose a customer. Me being the red tape, we don't have to jump through hoops to get that done. My team has a pretty standard approval process. We don't have to wait on approvals. I don't have time for a contractor to call me and say, I'm at this house and a sump pump needs replaced. Do we need to approve the sump pump? Well, yes, just do the sump pump. I don't need you to call for approval on that. So we have a pretty, our contractors are well-versed in what we cover and what we do. They only really have to contact us when something's a little outside of the ordinary, or the coverage is getting high enough to where it may make more sense. Like if it's a 20-year-old furnace and the repairs $800, like, do they want to use that money towards replacement or repair?
Yeah.
We kind of let them make that decision, which I think ultimately it kind of helps them feel better about the process when they get to make, a decision in that, and we're not just forcing repair on an old unit. So those are some of the things that we do a little bit differently.
Maybe how's that work if you're giving a credit toward a new furnace, for example? Like how is the seller or buyer, I guess, getting that?
For sure. So of course, we have local contractors that we dispatch typically. I only work with small family-owned businesses as well. So our contractors would give a quote for replacement, but we also encourage the homeowner to solicit other quotes if they'd like. We want them to get the best deal and get what they need. So in that instance, we would then cut them a check towards that replacement, or if they use one of our contractors, essentially, then at that point, the contractor would bill us and they would pay the difference.
Okay. So the credit is the same whether they use your contractor
For sure.
or find out.
For sure. We do that because, we don't have kickbacks or anything from our contractors, and some customers have people that they prefer to use and they might get something better. They might have a family member that has an HVAC company, things of that nature. And we're very transparent that in every home warranty company, every category has a cap. It's not just unlimited coverage forever and ever and ever. And I think that's where sometimes expectations get crossed up and there's some disconnect in somebody saying at the closing table, just call them and, when your furnace goes out, because it's old, and pay $50 deductible and you're just going to get a brand new furnace. And that's just not real life anymore. It's not how any, warranty works. Everybody has a cap and a limit. We research, these all the time to stay kind of abreast of what's happening in the market. But again, we can make exceptions. Let's say, somebody had $1,000 worth of refrigerator, but it's, a commercial grade, industrial, $5,000 refrigerator. That's a decision that we can just make on behalf of the customer to do what makes sense, and bump up that coverage when need be. Regarding that, so back to the contractor thing. So some people also like to hire their own contractors, right? So they may think, I don't want your contractor, I want to have my own contractor. Maybe they've had a relationship with the company for a long time. They've always done service, and we're fine with that. We're not going to force them to use our contractors. But of course, if something is condemned, we just have to confirm. But also, we ask the homeowner to call us while they are on site, because unfortunately, we find a lot of predatory contracting happens. And somebody might think they're getting a really good deal and they're getting 20% off the service call. And then they call us and say, well, they're here and they're estimating this is the cost of the repair. And I'm like, well, that's 30% above market. And of course, we want their coverage to go as far as possible. So we try to educate them in that process as well. I don't know if I mentioned the example. We had a person who pays like $14.95 a month for service, and they get that annual heating and cooling visit included every year, and supposedly 20% off of service calls. So they wanted that company to do their work, and everything was fine. And that company came out and said they were giving them 20% off the service call, but the service call alone was like $175, not including any labor or that. And I was like, that's not 20% off of anything. You should be looking at like 125, 100, especially if they're giving you 20% off. So, but people don't know what they don't know. So that's why we kind of try to be in their corner, even when it's stuff that we're not involved in. If they're getting some other work done in the house, they can kind of run things past us. If they're just upgrading and they're just like, does this sound right? They're having me do all this extra stuff. We try to kind of be an advocate just through the whole homeownership process for our clients. On any other questions right now? Because I can go forever. Any specific questions or situations that you've dealt with before I move on, or questions about coverage?
So, hi, this is Doug. Can you hear me? I have a question. Do you publish the caps by product line?
Yes.
You have? Okay.
Yes, they're all in the back of our brochure.
Okay,
which you'll have emailed to you. I have everything. I think Stan might have it, but if not, I'm going to.
Yeah, I have everyone's email as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll get it out to everybody. But yeah, they're in there. And again, the thing about that is, attorneys have to write that stuff, but I'm not going to deny something because it's old or rusty or corroded, because I'm not voluntarily replacing my pipes because they're corroded. I mean, I'm going to replace them when they leak, so I'm not going to deny a claim because something's corroded, or same thing if a furnace is in poor condition. But yeah, all of the caps are listed in there, and we do cover like up to 2 pounds of Freon for HVAC. It's included in that complimentary visit. But yeah, everything's in there, including, the washer dryer. We have some underground sewer line coverage. That's about $1,000 in coverage. And it typically will cover enough to get the line clear, jet it, something like that, and then camera it so that the homeowner has a game plan on how to move forward with a substantial repair.
Right. How about, do you cover underground gutter drainage?
We do not, just
okay.
The sewer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so no underground water lines or downspout lines. So the only thing we cover underground is that underground sewer line. And then interior, of course, all interior plumbing, interior gas lines, but nothing exterior except for that underground sewer line. And it's basically, like I said, just enough to get them started on if they do have an underground utility repair. And I'm trying to think. So the free annual maintenance, now back to that. So I know that this is buyer coverage typically, and for those that are newer, a lot of times what happens is when you negotiate on behalf of your buyer, you would ask the seller to pay for a warranty. Of course, it depends on the house and it depends on the competitive nature of that offer. So if, for example, it is accepted, then that's considered buyer coverage, and then the buyer gets coverage effective the date of closing for 1 year. We also offer free complimentary seller coverage, which gets put on at the listing time. And it still doesn't get paid for until closing, but the seller pays for it at closing, but has access to some coverage during that listing period, which would be those free annual heating and cooling visits. So for example, if they have their home listed with you and they have our warranty in place, they could use those two free annual service maintenance checkups to get their unit serviced before the home inspection. Because the home inspection is gonna say, it needs to be serviced, because they always do. You know, because nobody just usually voluntarily services their units. So they can use those, you know, that way, you know, sellers sometimes are like, what do I care if the buyer gets a warranty? I'm selling this house, I'm out, you know, but at least they get some benefit, which is being able to use those services, as well as they get up to $500 in coverage for unexpected things that might occur during that listing or in contract.
Oh, up to 500?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to 500 on the seller side, plus the 2 free visits. And of course, if they do utilize any services and let's say this buyer doesn't ask for the warranty or it gets negotiated out, we just ask that the seller reimburses for whatever we've paid out or put the warranty in place. You know, if they pull it off the market, we just ask that they put it in place or reimburses for the, you know, and we have negotiated prices, but reimburses for whatever work we paid out if the warranty doesn't get executed. Any other questions right off the top of your head, or?
Can this warranty be put on a property that someone already owns, that's not being sold? Okay.
Yes, great question. So anybody can add a warranty at any time. You can have lived in your home for a year, 5 years, 10 years. We don't do any sort of inspections up front. We just put regular thought process to it. I mean, if we put a new policy in place on an existing home and then the next day somebody calls with 5 claims, like, yeah, right, right. You know, so again, it's all within reason. So if you happen to live in your home and you put in a new warranty and the next week your refrigerator goes out, well, I'm pretty confident that you weren't living without a refrigerator. You know, so we kind of just look at those scenarios.
A common sense filter.
Yeah, common sense filter, because, you know, we lose a lot of that sometimes in the customer service world, but, you know, we try to just make it easier. This industry is hard enough. It shouldn't be really that difficult. But we also, back to that point, so we don't have like a solid wait period or anything when you first get the warranty as a buyer. We do, for the first 30 days, if they have a claim, depending upon what it is, we have the right to ask for the copy of the home inspection, just to make sure that they're not asking us to fix something that the seller
Didn't
fix.
Yeah.
We used to flex that a little bit, but unfortunately, after 2022, we would get literal claims submitted with like 33 claims. Like they'd take their whole like request to remedy list and put it in a claim and send it to us, you know, and I was like, oh, I don't, you know, so, but again, all it has to be doing is working during the home. I don't care if it's old. I don't care if it's, you know, it says it needed cleaned. Was it working? Was it the right temperature? That's all I really care about. Because things happen. We use things differently depending upon who lives in the home.
Sure.
The hot water tank might be old, but there was one person living there and now there are 4 people living there. You know, so within a week it went out. You know, that happens. Same with refrigerators. Often when people are like opening and closing and cleaning them, sometimes that will mess up the refrigerator, things of that nature. So, you know, like I said, we just try to put common sense logic to it. We're not in the business to deny claims, but we're also not in the business to blow a bunch of smoke and say, we're gonna give you $5,000 on a furnace and then deny it until the cows come home because of condition or age, or drag out the process so that the person gets frustrated and fixes it on their own. And I'm not saying those are stories that we hear. I'm not giving any specific companies or, you know, whatnot, but, we typically have people on site within 48 hours, unless it's an emergency, it's same day. Same day emergencies are no heat, sewage backups, no running water, no hot water is an inconvenience. We usually get somebody on within 24 hours there, but not same day. Dishwashers, not same day. You probably heard that story where the lady said she just couldn't do it. She's like, dishes are backing up. I need somebody here within 2 hours because I have a lot of kids. And I was like, we have a lot of dishwashers. Let's like make a game out of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Question, they just for clarification, for the claim part,
Mhm.
is it claim on a phone call is a claim or a claim is an item is a claim? So like, there may be someone's, happened a dishwasher and refrigerator went out at the same time.
Gotcha.
Are those two separate claims?
Yes.
Okay.
They are two separate claims. We have to warranty each item individually and of course have to be ordered under different POs. And that's why we keep the deductible lower. Because unfortunately, yeah, you might have 3 appliances go out at once. But you're looking at $150 to get all 3 fixed, and the reason is that we do have to have our contractors warrant each item as well. So make sure we know what they're doing, because if we put in a claim for a toilet, our plumber goes out and then the homeowner's like, also, can you look at these other 4 things?
Right.
And we don't have it documented. I have no idea what the contractor did. I don't know what parts were ordered. They put it all under one thing, and then the homeowner's like, well, while they were here, they also did these 2 other things, and we're like, we don't have a claim for that. So now it's not working. I don't know, I can't confirm or deny what happened there. That's why we try to keep that low, and offer the complimentary services. But typically, if it's like plumbing in the same bathroom, I'm not worried about that. But if it's something where, you have a dishwasher and a dryer, those are definitely 2 different areas. Contractors have to book a longer window of time, and they bill us for the longer window of time, and then 2 separate part orders. So it's a great question. Yeah. Trying to think of anything else that I can think about.
Is there maybe it was on here, a renewal cost? Is it a discount to renew?
It is. So our normal price is $669 for a single family home and $569 for condos. At renewal on the single family, we offer at $619, so it's $50 off. But we also offer monthly and quarterly payments too. So if people want to renew, they can pay monthly, they can pay quarterly. Monthly $65, quarterly is $175. Just like anything, if you pay up front, it's cheaper. If you get billed monthly, there's, typically it's a little bit more. So that's why it's $65 a month. That includes all taxes and fees. It's just a flat $65. We also, if somebody didn't get the product, in the close, they can put it on anytime. They can also get monthly or quarterly payments. Let's say they had a substantial down payment and they just don't have the excess cash to pay 6 something. They can do quarterly or monthly payments as well.
Can you convert that as like at any time too? So like if I did like 3 months, I want to pay by month, and now I want to go to an annual.
Yes, yeah. So we would just we would deduct, the 2 175s from the 619 and pay the difference. So, and you can ultimately still get that savings and at that point if you're paying it off early. Regarding like how we loop you guys in, we try to keep you looped in as much as possible because we understand touch points are important. Your clients, you want to stay in contact with them about what's going on in the world, but also provide a lot of value, which I know you guys do, but like it's usually about what your homework, what the market's doing. This is a more intentional touch point where anytime we fix something, we email you and let you know we fixed it and how much we spent to fix it. That way you can follow up, because I will tell you our service is top notch. I mean, there's no question. If you go on any realtor Facebook page and ask about our company, you won't get a negative comment. I'm confident about that.
You even got a plug from Jonathan.
Yeah.
As we started out here,
yeah.
Jonathan walks by and
Yeah.
says, there's no one better.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you. And we're small. We don't have a salesperson. I'm the salesperson. Our team is they're the salespeople. We all represent the product. We've not raised our price since we started. And while we were the most expensive, then those complimentary services and things, I mean, those are about $300. So you're already, looking at $369 for, the warranty. But we do pride ourselves on the best service, and a lot of our contractors, we have contractors seek us out. They're like, we heard you're really good to do business with, and you pay on time, and you're easy to communicate with, and you have an easy approval process, and they can text us, and our clients can text us through our main number because of language barriers. And we started that process because communication with language barriers, was challenging, and a lot of people who have rented or, I grew up in government housing. I didn't know what a furnace looked like. I just know stuff happened, so a lot of people don't know the difference between certain things in the home, like furnace or hot water heater. So we would ask people to text us photos or send us a video, so we could try to walk them through, what it is and make sure we send the right skilled trade, because we don't want to send a hot water heater guy if it's the furnace.
Right.
We also try to troubleshoot that way, so they don't have to wait on a contractor and pay a deductible. Because sometimes it's just the furnace filter or the programmed thermostat isn't programmed right. When you first buy a home, it's usually on a schedule from somebody else, and then the new owners don't know how to mess with it. And they think it's broken, and it's not really broken, and we don't want to pay somebody to pay $50 to come out and hit some buttons.
Pilot light went off on the water heater.
Right. Right, so we try to walk through garbage disposal reset. I know it's frustrating. If I'm a homeowner and I walk in and I'm a contractor and I pay $50 and you go over and
I know.
hit that button, you're like, what the heck did I
Power
pay?
it off, power it
$50?
off.
Yeah, right? Is it plugged in?
Yeah.
Did you hit the GFI? But
Yeah.
people don't know what they don't know, but it is frustrating to pay $50 and then somebody walks in and it takes 2 seconds.
Right, you can't tell me that over the phone.
Right.
Question, never mind, question is left.
Not only our colors today. I know they're your colors too, but they're also our colors. But let me see. So we let you know when everything is renewed too. So that's kind of a reminder that your people are on their anniversary. So you can loop them in. And then we encourage everybody, they ask us like, do you send out a notice and say, hey, did you use your spring visit? Did you use your air conditioning visit? Did you use the furnace visit? And I'm like, transparency, I don't remind them to spend my money. That's the truth, but they're more than welcome to use it. But I'm not gonna blast every customer to remind them to do their AC visit. But what we encourage is for you to do that. So most agents who work with us will set a calendar date of like May 1st or May 15th to reach out to us. Who do I have under warranty? I'm going to email all my clients and tell them to use their free service. Then it kind of, go ahead, because I know you have it.
Oh, no, I was gonna patiently wait. I really.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so two things.
Yes.
Have you seen home warranties going down in contracts?
I have seen them going up.
Okay, going up.
And I'm right now at about a 35% list. We're 35% of our orders on the listing side, and
Okay,
65 on the buy side.
okay,
Now,
that's good.
there's a lot of factors that come into play, right?
Sure.
Compared to what? 2022, we had nothing.
Yeah, right.
It was like bare bones,
Yeah.
but we actually are seeing quite a few, and well, this is I will tell you the truth all the time. Customers were really, really hard, the ones who did get warranties in 22 and 23, early 23, because they paid a lot they paid over, they
weren't
Wait.
doing inspections.
they weren't doing inspections, they were waiving remedy. And there were a lot of expectations, unfortunately, that we just, we were like, well, we just can't come and fix everything the first week you moved in because of waived inspection, and, we are finding that even with the higher interest rates, the people who are buying now are intentionally buying. Does that make sense? Like they understand.
Thought into.
They're also getting inspections and they're getting some requested remedies. And so they're a little less, combative, I think, for the product. And because it was hard. In 2022, my team was like, they were, it was nobody calls us on a good day anyway. Everybody that calls us is having a bad day. It's something broke, and then imagine you just paid 50,000 over a list, you waived everything, and that conversation is not a fun one. So I do find, we actually, and it could be progression of just shift to our business from other companies, but we are, we're seeing an increase with our individual. And I do talk to 2 other warranty reps, because I'm like, I reached out to them early on and I'm like, let's have lunch and let's do things. And they're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? And I was like, look, brokers have lunch with each other and they commingle. Why can we not do that? Bounce things off each other. From what I gather, the 2 other companies that I talked to, they're up about 10%.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Cause I was, I had put in, and I did not put in for home warranty, which I normally always, I
Mhm.
do. But I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
there's not that many houses. So it's good to hear this because I can confidently, like, really push for that now.
And, you know the house and you know the market, so we trust, we also don't ever want you to lose something because of us, right? So, but definitely, we are seeing, a good amount. And we're happy for that. In 2021 and 2022, my husband still owned the home inspection company and then we had the warranty company and I was like, great, everybody's waiving all of these things. That's it. But because we're small, we could pivot and we could do some different things and not have to raise prices and not have to raise deductibles, or change coverage. We've always kept a steady line. Our goal is to offset some of the cost of homeownership, but we're not gonna give you a brand new refrigerator. We're not gonna give you a brand new $2,000. That's just not what we do. If you wreck your it's just, but you're gonna get a contribution towards, that's where it is. If the refrigerator's out and it's a $900 repair, do you wanna do the $900 repair? Sure. Or do you wanna take the $900 and buy a new refrigerator?
Yep.
Those are the sorts of conversations that we have and, it's like insurance. Some people think, what did I have it for? I'm not using it, but when you need it, you need it. You may have just the refrigerator this year, but then next year 8 things happen, so. I will say we're right now at about a 47% renewal rate, which is kind of unheard of.
That's real good.
The market average for people who aren't paying for the product first, they get it free, usually don't renew because they're like, okay, I had it, whatever, I'm not gonna pay for it. This year, that rate is about 8% and we're holding it about 46, 47 on that renewal.
Usually
All right, excuse me, I have a question. Do you cover, sorry, I don't have the brochure in front of me, for like a multi-unit complex or something like that, more on the investment side? So if you have somebody buying an apartment building or up to a 4-unit, is that a product you sell?
That is unfortunately not. So, we tried to cover rentals, at the beginning of our life here in the warranty world. And almost getting pulled into court 3 times in like a 2-year period, we were like, we're out of the rental space. We had situations where landlords weren't communicating to their tenant. We were coming to then the contractor's there, nobody's there to take the call or to, nobody's paying the deductible because I didn't know that you were coming. We had somebody get a gun pulled on them because the tenant didn't know we were coming. We had to go almost to court because we had a landlord had 7 people living at home and let them go without water for 7 weeks. And not everybody's like that, but unfortunately for us, it became too much of a property management type of situation. We just don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to manage something like that. Maybe again in the future, but not at this time. Now,
Just owner occupied.
just owner occupied, but if it is a duplex and the owner owns the one side, we will take the whole duplex. Because
Okay.
it's a different experience, I think, when the owner's on one side, right?
Because they're right next door.
Yeah, they're right next door. We do 2 condos on that one.
Oh,
So we do a dual condo price is kind of what we do in that instance.
Okay.
We also have a 2-year warranty that discounts at $200, which some people, if you're in aggressive negotiation and seller's refusing to do something, if they were paying $669 for the warranty, there's an extra $400, less than $400 to get the 2-year coverage. And so you can kind of split it up. Yeah, $1138. It's a $200 off basically. So we see people do that sometimes where the seller will pay, I'll give you $800 and then maybe the buyer pays $380 or $338. We have some where the seller's only willing to give $500, so we can flex that invoice to where we split it and it's like you get $169 and you get $500. Of course, yeah.
With that,
Mhm.
this is my second thing. Do you have something that when we put in for the offer that we want you, do you have something that we could send with that, probably with that offer that says, hey, they'll cover this for you, something to show if they don't know about you?
With the offer?
Yeah.
I mean, I suspect any of our, I could certainly give you all of the electronic sheets, and I think this is a really good visual, on that one sheet, that shows kind of everything that is covered. You might not have one, let me get your, let me make sure you have everything, but this is a really good visual, I think, that highlights kind of the coverage in a sense. Yeah, so some people use that. When we do send over the invoice, like if you put the order in, the brochure goes with it, so you can forward that to your clients. And then, of course, once it closes, we get paid, we send out a welcome email packet to the homeowner with the brochure, the links that they need, file claims, how to reach us, after hours, all of those things are included in that welcome email. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover. I think that's pretty much it.
What are the options for ordering the warranty?
Yes, we have all of the options. You can text them. You can use our online form, which is super simple. We also have .loop. We're in .loop, so you can just add us to your loop, and just tell us there. And yeah.
We're gonna look it all up.
We're under info@myhomeserviceplan.com. The email is what we're in under .loop. But you can call us. Some people want to hear our voices and put the orders in over the phone, and that's fine too. So we have the online ordering .loop. You can call, you can text.
That's great.
We have a realtor who gets her hair done every month, and she texts all of her orders from the chair. That's what she does, like her habit. So she remembers to order.
Good multitasking.
Yeah, right. It's, so it's whatever you prefer, whatever works best for you. Of course, you just would choose seller to buyer coverage or buyer coverage. Or if you know that the homeowner is going to buy this on their own, maybe out of their proceeds, let us know, because we offer a $50 discount. The buyer has to pay for it. It wasn't paid for on behalf of the seller. If you have to gift one, which I'm not asking you to do, but I have some realtors, depending upon the transactions, that gift warranty, so we will also offer a discount in those instances as well.
Great.
Yeah, I'm like, there's all the things, my head's always swimming, so, we do have add-ons, pool and spa add-on, and a well and septic add-on. And the well and septic add-on includes a pumping of the septic tank every year,
That's,
so
what's the price of that?
$350.
Okay.
Oh, no, the price of the add-on is $60 for the year.
But
For
it
the
comes with
well
a free pump.
I
That's
know,
a good
right?
deal.
I
Wow.
know, right? You're already up $290.
That's a
right?
no-brainer, yeah.
Or actually, yeah, no, do math, Mindy.
Something like
350,
that.
yeah, $290.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's included, and that's $60, and then pool and spa add-on is $180.
Okay. Wow.
But other than that, we don't have any individual add-ons. We do have an over 5,000 square foot policy, $975. What it does is it bumps up the coverage in each category, just because they typically have more bathrooms, you have more, light fixtures, you have more, all of the things. But you can put it on a house that's less than 5,000 square feet if you choose. If it's like a $1.5 million, 3,000 square foot home.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, think of Upper Arlington, like they have a $5,000 stove, or something like that, or, you can use that upgraded policy on homes that are less than 5,000 square feet if it makes sense for your client.
That makes sense.
Because it just increases coverage in every category. So, yeah, I mean, you can always get a hold of us. We're easy to reach, we're easy to communicate with. We don't have, we don't source anything out. Our phones are very busy, but, I have an overflow person who will take messages. Who's my cousin. She literally will just take messages if all lines are busy. But after hours, we handle those. We have on-call people, so if it's emergency, just, have your people leave a voicemail and we'll get to them. We look at scenarios like if it's an air conditioner and it's a Saturday and it's 85 degrees and they have a newborn, well, yeah, or if it's 80 degrees and they have a newborn, or they have asthma, or they have an elderly person with oxygen. I mean, those are all things that we ask about and can take into account and, make those decisions that make sense. Uninhabitable to some people isn't what's uninhabitable to others. I mean, if I can't open a window, because of my severe asthma, or, you know, especially during COVID, you couldn't let anybody go without hot water even for a day, you know, so different things come into play. That's where that human component of normal thought process comes into play. No scripts, you know, so we don't have those. And we do have a Spanish speaking, my Fernanda is, English is her first language, but she's fluent in Spanish. And I think her replacement will also be, which is just kind of unusual, but I had a second interview with somebody and I was like, oh my gosh, you're like Fernanda reincarnated as a different person. It was so funny. Same arm tattoo almost and everything.
Oh my
Like, well, I think this was just, you know, serendipity, but, yeah, so, but any other questions for Bill? We do the same, by the way, with like appliances. I think I mentioned that, like if it's a $300 or $400 repair on a dishwasher, do you want to just get a new one? Up to you, you know, you can get a new basic one for $600, and I don't encourage anybody to overspend on appliances ever, because they don't last. And I don't encourage anybody to buy Samsung or LG ever.
Remember you said that before,
Yeah, and I will always say that, ever, so, but yeah. Yeah, I think.
Better get homework.
Well, it's interesting, and we found out, like, because I think you probably heard this, but, you know, we're willing to pay people to go fix things, and when the contractors were like, no, thanks, we're not working on those, I was like, wait, like, you
That's a
don't
red flag.
want money to go fix these things? Or like, absolutely not. Like, the replacement parts discontinue really quickly, but when you do have replacement parts, they typically, the design flaw, there's some like weird thing, and then so the callbacks are frequent, because the parts will last not as long as they should, and so then it's a callback and a callback, and you're replacing the same part over and over again, and, yeah,
So Whirlpool is the way to go, so what you.
I say go standard, GE, Whirlpool, you know, they're all selling and buying each other all the time. So Bosch, LG was purchased by Samsung. Well, Samsung makes the parts for LG. Bosch now isn't Bosch. Whirlpool bought them. So, you know, they all kind of commingle in some capacity, but what matters is where the parts come from. Which is why if you had like a Linux or a Train or a Samsung during COVID, it was a problem, because their parts are proprietary. They're only manufactured, there are no universal parts. So when the parts weren't able to be made, it was a problem. So while Train and Linux and all those are really great names, pretty much these days, everything lasts about the same time, because they put a lot of bells and whistles that take away from the guts of the units, you know, so you know, name brand and expensive isn't always necessarily the route. And don't get a refrigerator with a TV in it. But thanks again for your time. I've
Thanks
taken
for
up
the
a lot of it, of course. Yeah. So the ones on the end have egg and cheese. I think the one in the middle still has bacon, and there's some lox and whatnot. So I'm gonna email everything out. Thank you guys for being online. I'm gonna send out a recap, just, you know, brief summary of what we will do, what
Send
we
you
covered.
everyone's email.
Perfect, thank you. And then I'll make sure, of course, thank you for having that. This is taking 30 days, right? Yeah, no, but no, I appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah, thank you. I'm
Thank
glad to be here. But
Oh,
yeah, I'll send everything out. All of these attachments will come out as well. I didn't bring all the things.
You know, thank you.
All right, guys, bye, you get your food.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Nice to see you, honey. I'll see you soon, right?
Yeah.
Jasmine,
Yeah.
Fire some more.
Yeah.
I meet you next week, right? We have
Yeah.
a meeting next week.
Oh,
Yeah.
next
Next time
week.
I'm
All right.
Bye.
I didn't stop playing. No, that one right for the soccer community. That was, wait, this is AMG Point. Yeah, that one. BS, yeah. Oh, I like amazing. What is that sauce? Oh, I just.
It's the most amazing
sauce.
sauce.
Is it? May I have one of those sauces, please?
Oh, that's hot sauce. It's
That
Sabo.
one is locked.
It's a Sabo hot salmon.
Oh, no, it's salmon.
Oh, no. Wait, is there salmon in it? Is that lox?
All right,
Is it
let me
lox on
get
it?
that
Yeah.
one.
This is, oh, no, box is the name of that. Oh, okay. Oh, no, you don't have a lox one. I don't have
What's
one.
the, what, is lobster salmon?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay, I can see whatever, I'm hungry.
All right, while you guys eat, we're gonna play a quick game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the prize we're gonna be playing for. So, some of you guys were at the photo shoot a couple days ago. And Brian, our photographer, gave me a Stanley Cup. It's got his logo on the one side, but a very nice white Stanley Cup, so that's the prize. This won't take long, but each one of you guys here in the room has a little piece of paper. And then you brought in pens, which is very convenient. You need one, Kevin? I have more.
Piece of paper.
Yeah, there might be a couple. spots.
Here's the extras for you.
Okay, thank you. Mindy.
That's the big old looking for, Jasmine. That's the big old looking for.
I had some.
You want the other half? No, you want the other half? Yeah, egg and cheese. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's egg and cheese too.
If you don't have one, if you guys don't have a piece of paper, just tear off the corner.
I think guys.
Thank you.
Oh, the house on this one.
If you guys don't have a piece of paper, just tear off the corner of your agenda or something. I had some extras, but I'm not sure where they went. Okay, you guys on Zoom are also gonna play this game. So we're gonna be guessing a number. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. If you're on Zoom, you can either do your guess by, sending a message through the chat directly to Sam. Don't do the everyone, do Sam. Or you can just text her if you don't know how to do the individual chat.
What number are you gonna ask?
So here's what we're gonna do. So if you remember last week, I went over the Central Ohio Housing Report, right? And I told you guys how this is something you guys need to really look at every month. It's great social media content, you know what's going on in your market. And I also told you last week that you can go on Columbus Realtor's site and you can find the housing reports from the last 7 years. So probably no one did that, but I'm gonna test you guys' knowledge or guessing skills, I guess would be more appropriate. We're going to compete to find out who can get closest to guessing the average sales price of a Central Ohio home in April of 2019. So 5 years ago, not that far back, 5 years ago, what was the average sales price home in Central Ohio?
Can I look
So-
right now on the phone?
So we're gonna do this all privately, don't share your numbers. It's not like the Price is Right, where if you go over, you're disqualified. It's gonna be whoever's closest, and they're gonna win the Stanley Cup. So go ahead and think about it.
Do I have to put my name on it?
Write your name on it.
Right.
Write your name on it. I'll have you guys all, well, let's see, should you do it, Sam, since you're gonna have the ones from Zoom? Or you can write down the ones from Zoom.
Oh, I can just write it down. the ones from here.
Yeah, if someone texts you or does it through the chat, just write it down. But yeah, so put your name on it, so I know who's who. April of 2019, so 5 years ago. So just to refresh your memory, April of 2024, so last month, the average sale price was $359,483. So $359,483. What was that same number 5 years ago?
Very wrong, though.
Just trusting my gut.
Yeah.
Oh, where are we putting it?
You guys can pass them to me. Sam's gonna give those to me too. Okay, that's some good guesses coming in. Yep.
Some of these are nobody
Okay.
We always do that, right?
Yeah.
But nobody else can.
Someone ripped their hair.
Others turn so fast. I gotta pay attention to who's getting closest.
Yeah, they actually just do the color acrylic, and then.
Yeah.
It looks good.
I smell pretty bad though.
So you guys are pretty close, I think.
He does, Mom. Oh, that's cool. Look at right now.
Really nice.
I think someone's really close. You want me to read them all or just tell you who's closest?
No, read them all, because I was
Okay.
gonna read them.
All
How
right.
far off I
Well,
am.
I'm not gonna say the answer yet,
Uh-huh.
because that would take the suspense away. All right, so Sam guessed 300,999. You guys think that's high or low?
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica guessed 220,000. You guys think of that high or low?
Hello.
Okay, so we think it's between
I think average.
220 and 301, basically. Okay. Miranda guessed 265. What are we thinking about that one?
No, I was gonna guess, and then
I think
Close.
Okay, we're gonna put the close ones over here, because I'll tell you Miranda's is kind of close. So,
Oh, my God.
I gotta refresh my memory, okay. Yep, so far Miranda's closest. All right, Jasmine guessed 235, which is also close. So I'm putting you over in this pile, Jasmine.
You make me happy.
Okay. Adriana, well, no, Adriana's not licensed. Adriana guessed 116. So
That's okay.
that's a little on the low side, but we'll let that slide since you haven't even got your license yet. Okay. All right, Nancy guessed 270. Well, it's not too bad, Nancy, but there's close, all these are closer than yours. I'm gonna put you on the slide. Okay, but it was a good guess, though. That was a good guess.
I should have gone with my original.
All right, so Tommy says 320. So Tommy, again, brand new agent, wasn't around selling real estate in 2019, but sorry, Tommy, I gotta put you in this file. All right, so then we got some from Zoom here. We got Doug at 251. That's a really good guess, Doug, so you're a contender. Who is this?
Look, did you cheat?
Is it really tiny?
Are you looking in the
It's
computer?
the names on the back.
Craig is 247, 567, which is oddly specific, Craig. And then Lori, 210, so.
265, and then I panicked in a moment.
Okay.
Went low.
I was gonna go with 259.
So let's see, I have to keep looking at the number to make sure I'm not messing it up. Okay, well, it's down to Jasmine and Craig. Jasmine and Craig are the closest.
Give it to Jasmine. I actually looked it up.
What was that, Craig?
Give it to Jasmine. I looked it up.
Oh my gosh, look that up. Wow.
But I actually looked up the wrong month. I thought you said August at first.
But Craig, this is not the right number. If you looked it up,
He said August, he looked up August.
I thought you said August at first. That's the number from August. So please give it to Jasmine. I blatantly tried
why
to
are you
cheat.
looking it up? All right, well, the winner is Jasmine, because the actual number, April 2019, $242,063.
35.
There you go.
And
Nice.
then, let me tell you, can I tell you how I came up with that?
Okay, yeah,
Okay, so you said April was, this year was what?
359 and some change.
359, so I
Yep.
said, you know what? Houses have gone up like over 100,000, right, during COVID season.
Yep.
So like from the beginning of that, so I deducted that.
Mhm.
And then I remember the average houses normally go up is 10%. And then I deducted from there.
Okay.
That's how I came up with
Well,
that.
whatever your methodology was. because you were-
I could have totally been
that
off,
was actually
but
very-
that's what I used.
So yeah, so we went over April 24 last week, so we don't need to do that, but just real quick to just kind of compare, because I think this is, you want to know not only the last year, the shorter term trends, but you want to know the long-term trends, right? This is good information for buyers, sellers, social media content, all the same things. So yeah, I didn't do it as a percentage, but if you bought a house for 242 5 years ago, it would now be worth 360, technically, on average. I mean, that's pretty huge.
Yes,
So-
it is.
So when you have people, saying, I want to wait till the rates go down, whatever, all these objections like we talked about, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive just 1 year's worth of appreciation, but just showing 5 years, which 5 years is not long, over $100,000 of appreciation. Okay, so I won't spend too much more time on this, but days on market. So if you remember, right now it's average 28 days on the market. What do you think it was 5 years ago?
60.
Do we think it's longer than now or shorter? We're thinking it's shorter?
What,
We're thinking-
2019?
Back
think-
then, it was
I think-
longer.
Oh, no,
It was like 60 days.
Okay, it was longer, but not by much. 32 was the average day.
Oh.
So just 4 days longer. All right, this was interesting, I thought. Inventory of homes for sale. Do we think there was more inventory in 2019 or less inventory?
More inventory.
Okay, you were correct. It was actually, so this past month was a little over 3,054 homes on the market. In April of I don't know why I keep saying 17, April 2019, 3,833.
Wait,
So-
what is it now?
Right now, it's a little over 3,000. 5 years ago, it was like 3,800.
That's good, because we're kind of getting closer
The
to
interesting,
before
the interesting
COVID.
thing is, so month supply of inventory, so how long it would take for every listing to sell if nothing new got listed. Right now, it's 1.3 months. Even with all that extra inventory in 2019, it was 1.4 months. So the only thing I can think of that would be the reason for that would be, okay, there's a lot more inventory, but there must be a lot fewer buyers
Right?
in the market now. Because the month supply is about the same, even though we've got 800 less homes for sale.
Mhm.
So that's a good statistic to know that, you know, buyers, you're not competing with as many other buyers, probably because the rates are 4% higher than they were 5 years ago.
Now,
So-
what was the rate in 2019?
The interest rate, Sam and I were talking about this earlier, so 2019, I would say probably 3 to 4%. Yeah,
2019?
yeah, probably closer to 3, honestly, in April of 2019.
Yeah, I bought a house in 2019, it was 3%.
There you go,
Oh,
yep,
really?
yep.
18, I think.
Yeah, so rates were between 3 and 4 up until about the first half of 2022.
Right.
And then they jumped pretty quickly up into, you know, 6 to 7s, in just a matter of like 3 months. So that's probably why there's fewer buyers in the market now, which,
Oh, yeah.
if you're a buyer, that's a good thing. So yeah, your rate's higher, but you're not competing with as many people.
Question, do you happen to know, or, I don't know, when the rates were at, what they are now?
Sam was just looking that up this morning, so
Oh,
like it was,
what were you looking up?
it was up for 6.
The
rates
a
went-
rate, yeah, comparable to now, what year
Oh,
was
the-
it that way last time?
Oh, goodness. I don't
Oh,
know.
so Jasmine, what you're asking is what year were rates last?
So currently.
Similar to the interest rate.
Probably like late 2000s, like maybe 2008, 2009, something like that.
30-year fix right now is 7.34, and then FHA is 6.85. So it went up the rates.
No, I know, but.
No, no,
I
what
wonder-
year was
No, I
it?
know, I just want to know.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I would say late 2000, probably.
What's the statistic, I think, is over the last 30, if you go over like, span like the last 30 years, the average rate is about 7%.
Yeah,
Over the last.
Yeah,
because in the
Yeah.
90s or 80s.
historically,
it was 10 and 12.
the rates right now, historically, like big picture, are actually a little better than average, what I've seen on traffic.
Okay.
All right, well, there's your prize.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. I just want to give thanks.
Right, proceeding. Yes, thank you.
Thank
You had to leave.
All right, so you guys have all seen the office emails about the command updates, right? So, for those of you who have closings coming up, all commissions and all compliance requests, all of the documents, all of the commissions need to be submitted by tomorrow. For anything that's closing from now until the end, or not the end of, from now until June 10th.
So when they're saying submit it, just submit on
So if you have something closing in the next week and a half, make sure all your documents are submitted by tomorrow, and make sure that, the commission is submitted. Now, we're gonna talk about commission in a second. You're still doing your own, but you need to submit your commissions for anything closing before June 10th. Do that by, right?
Maybe I'm doing my own.
You're submitting your commission.
Like what you're already doing.
Oh, okay.
Just
Yeah.
make sure.
Just do them by tomorrow. Anything's closing before June 10th.
Okay.
For everyone else, besides Nancy, Sam and I have to do your commissions on command. So the next little thing here is I want to remind everybody, submit your documents when you have something in contract, just like you've been doing. Add the offer, so it's in the offers and commissions tab. You put the terms of the offer in, the real basic terms, and then you click accept. And then Sam or I are able to go ahead and go edit the commission, because commissions are all paid to the team. You guys aren't gonna know what numbers to put in there. Sam and I know that, and then we can make sure you're paid if you're split, and everything's applied towards capital.
I'm saying obviously anyone in the room has done that.
I'm gonna say, well, you'll walk me through it. every
Yes.
step.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, a lot of you guys, this is,
That offers tab, because I've seen that, that's after it's been
That's
accepted.
when, if your
Yes.
buyer gets their offer accepted, or if you accepted an offer on your listing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after
That's
that
when you put
transaction.
yeah, so for those of you guys who haven't put offers in, obviously, we're gonna help you through all that, but, so this was more for Lori and Doug, and well, Craig's not on here anymore. Not Nancy, so really just a few. But
I'm
right.
new too, I'm new too.
Yeah. So, final reminder on the, Top Golf event. So that's, next Thursday, a week from today. You all want that? So are you signed up?
No, I responded to you
You
yesterday.
did? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you see?
I
Did you
did
respond?
ignore.
I tell, what happened, you respond to the Facebook? No, but I responded to him. Oh,
Hey, hey, Kia, is there anyone in the room next door? There are people in there. Where else did we get a chair?
Here, sit here.
No, I don't heard Tyler even stand up.
No, no,
I
no.
sat all day.
We're actually almost done. Well,
Go sit. You're new.
here, sit here, Kia. I'll stand. Yes. Nope, sit right here.
You already made someone else stand on there.
Now you have to run the meeting.
Hi guys, I'm Kia.
So, but yeah, so we need our final count by today, right, Sam?
Yeah, I told them 19, but if
Okay.
it's 20, or if someone dips, then you're fine.
Yeah, so.
You better hope someone flakes. I already told him.
I did text Nancy yesterday and asked her, but I apparently didn't pay attention to her response.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she-
At least he admitted it. Shame on me.
All right, so we'll go around the room and around the Zoom and we'll do new listings now buyers. This is your first meeting? You've been to a meeting before, right? Your first one? Have you guys all met Kia before? Well, I know you haven't all met Kia. This is Kia. So, let's start on Zoom. Doug, you want to start? Doug's still with us?
Yes, I'll be
Okay.
quick. Just working with my one buyers. They're gonna head out to the country in June and not come back till July, so kind of on pause with that.
Can we contract before they go?
Yeah, we need to look at properties and they're not looking. He told his wife to stop looking until she gets back. So, outside of that, just going through, doing my, sending out newsletters, etc., to my sphere of influence, trying to find those buyers or sellers.
Sounds good. Well, I guess we'll continue with Swanson's. Lori, you want
Oh.
to go next?
Um,
You weren't
so
ready to.
my sellers and buyers from, earlier this month, that's closed. So I have a potential, from the open house from Craig's property. So we've been coordinating, so either late next week or the following week, we're just trying to verify the date. We're gonna do sort of exploratory call, see where they're at in terms of purchasing, so that's, potential that's pending out there. And then, preparing for another, sort of exploratory consultation, with listing in Powell. So nothing,
You're gonna get.
no one signed
Yeah.
yet, but we've got two good,
Leads, they're gonna
leads.
sign, they're gonna sign.
I feel it. You say I believe.
That's right. There's no reason why they wouldn't.
That's right. I'm lovable.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, and I got a great testimonial from my, buyer client. So I got a nice one from my seller, and then my buyer just emailed me this morning with a really great testimonial. And the last line was, she will never give up on finding the right property. I was like, oh.
That's a true thing.
Lori, anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay, Sam?
I still have my Airtable listing in Evans Farms. Still working on that, but it's getting challenging. So if anyone has any or sees any like just interesting properties with some land that aren't too far away from 70, 71, he's a weird guy. He's got too much money to spend. He
It's a
wants
good problem to have.
he wants land, but he doesn't want to be too far away from the city. He wants a barndominium. He wants some. He's not from here, so he doesn't know what he wants. So if you guys just see anything crazy that is just
Would
like,
you be interested in land that you could build a barn dominium on?
that's a good question. Yeah, that's
Potentially,
potentially, yes.
There's not anything in New Albany?
Too far away from, like, he doesn't, I definitely don't think he wants to take 161 all the way to get this.
Or 270 even?
his
Where does
whole-
he work? He told you.
he commutes everywhere. So he like goes down to Kentucky, he'll go to Indiana, he'll
So
go
he
to
wants to be
Illinois.
here.
Oh, so what
Yeah.
about Grove City area?
The possibilities, he doesn't know, he doesn't know what.
Check out Grove City would be
Okay.
great because it's off of 71.
See, I don't know if he wants to put the effort into building simply because he built his dream house in Kentucky and then had to leave for Ohio for relocation. So that's why I'm like, does he really want to put in the effort to build again and then hate where he's at and have to sell again?
Yeah.
So I think he's just kind of like over it all right now. But yeah, still working on that.
Well, Adriana, welcome. So I know you don't have new listings or buyers yet, because that wouldn't even be legal at this point.
No.
Or you had to came to the meeting though. Nancy, I know you always got something.
What do I have?
Always.
What do I have? Wait, I have a buyer that is needing something under 230. On the east side, could be Whitehall, Columbus, the 43232 or 43227.
How many beds?
3. It has to have a basement. So you'll realize the ones with the lowest budget wants everything.
Right, yeah.
And there's no compromising, right? So that's one. Let me see, who else? I know I have someone else, but anyway, I have an investor that wants a duplex and it could be Powell. Doesn't want it too far from where they live currently, which is in Reynoldsburg. They are also looking for a home in New Albany, so as long as it doesn't exceed 600,000, doesn't have to be a very big home. Let's see, my New Albany home is not gonna fit their criteria, but I have an upcoming, listing in New Albany. And, that's gonna be $599. It's a 5-level split. It's a very, what is it, modern? It's
Coming up.
Coming up, so that, she wanted it listed on the 1st of June. I told her she was insane. That was not gonna happen. So just in case if you guys do have someone, keep that property in mind. I told somebody and their agent already reached out to me. I was like, okay, it wasn't meant for you. It was meant, I was trying to pick up the buyer and she ended up having an agent. So anyway, but keep that in mind. That's all I got for now. And the Granville listing might be coming back as well. I just don't know timing, but that's it. I don't have anything else. Oh, my listing in Reynoldsburg, in Taylor Woods, that one, you're Jessica, right? Jessica and Jasmine, you're both doing the open house, right? So that one is 424.9, 4-bedroom, 2,400 square feet. Wait, please find me a buyer. I need one ASAP. She keeps saying, "Do you find me a buyer?" I'm like, hold on, lady. No, it's not. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's showing. Yeah, she's being funny. She's sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she bought the condo in Westerville from me, so I gotta find her a buyer.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's it.
Okay. I still have my listing in Pickerington for $3,999. Listed it last week. It's a traditional 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage. And it just got new paint, new carpet, and most of the light fixtures replaced, so pretty much move-in condition. Sam's holding it open this weekend, and so is Chelsea. So didn't really get anyone through last weekend, but I think it was because it was Memorial Day and
I know, I think.
Pickerington graduation was last weekend.
Yeah,
so-
at home.
But I think this week's better. Yeah, you're next. This is what we do, so,
This is exciting.
yeah.
Definitely don't have any listings. But I am working with buyers, but it's more like a long-term thing. Friends of mine, they just had a baby. They're very picky. So she got pre-approved with Rachel, actually, but Connor did not. So he's like wanting like something he can just buy cash, with land. So we looked at some land in Heath last week. And it was zoned residential, but they can't put a mobile home on it, which is what they wanna do, and they just wanna like build to the mobile home.
Yeah.
We've also looked at some land in Newark, so, yeah, the land that we looked at was $10,000, and he's like, oh, I can do that, and then, yeah, so, it's kind of just like on a drip, like email wise, like for them to see if they see anything that they want, but they own a home in Zanesville, so it's not really like a dire need. But that's it here in Ohio. My house in South Carolina is going to go on the market. So excited to get that sold. But other than that, that's it. Yeah.
Wow, you came from South Carolina?
That's where my sister lives.
So I'm actually from here.
Uh-huh.
I lived in Charlotte for about 4 years. I bought property in Columbia, and I just don't want it anymore. So I'm ready to sell it, and we're working on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Jessica. Jessica did her first open house last week.
It was so fun. So fun. Well, yeah, and we had like 4 or 5 couples come through, which was actually surprising. They all had buyers except for one.
Agents.
Right, they all had agents except for one. So I did follow up with all of them and thanked them for coming, and then I followed up with the first couple and no response. But I'll just keep on reaching out to them. The most exciting thing that's happening in my life right now, besides doing an open house on Sunday, is on on a reel that I made, an old babysitter who's now an adult and a nurse, lives down here in Columbus now from Cleveland where I used to live. She said, oh my gosh, you're selling in Columbus. Well, when I'm ready, I'm definitely gonna hit you up.
That's exciting.
Now, question about that, like the transitioning, right? When people say stuff like that, like, hey, when I'm ready, should we just be like, this is really just to help us all out. Should we be like, hey, let's have coffee and talk about that? What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's never too early to start having those conversations, because I don't know if you guys have heard the expression buyers are liars. It can mean a lot of things, but one of the things that usually means is, a buyer says, oh yeah, maybe next year. And then you find out they bought something like next month or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, you do want to have those conversations early on. Keep it casual at first, don't be overbearing about it, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like this could be something that could turn into something sooner rather than later.
Especially like right now with the new builds having all those incentives as far as low rates. You can tell her, hey, do you mind if we get on a quick chat just to see where you're at and make sure that, I keep an eye out for you, and then
That's a good approach.
address it that way. And if, let's say, her lease is up in 6 months or 8, or let's say, whatever it is, she might be able to build and be ready and still be able to have a low interest rate. So that's another way to go about it.
Yeah, buyers generally don't know all the options that are available. There may be like loan programs, or like Nancy said,
Especially if she's a nurse.
new builds.
Her and her husband's a nurse.
So yeah, there are programs for medical professionals. Start having a conversation, get them with a lender that has those kind of programs. That would be a good start.
I'm more excited. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I hear the thing too. And I don't know if it works for nurses. I know it does doctors, but like the heroes, right? So they get, do you know about the heroes
Like
program?
police officers and firefighters?
Yeah, so that's something you can go out to them, like, and, cause they don't know what they don't know, right? Cause all they think is, oh my God, I gotta have 20% down payment, I gotta have all this money,
Yeah.
and these are all these things that come into people's
You
heads.
can even do a little research on those programs, like you
Yeah.
can contact a lender. Maybe they're not quite ready to get with the lender yet, but you could at least say, hey,
Rachel always has something worked out
yeah.
to send someone.
Yeah, reach out to Rachel. I think she's the best place to start for that sort of thing. Just say, hey, I have buyers or both nurses, what do you have that would be a good fit for them potentially? And then it's up to, them to the lender. To, do they have the right credit score or whatever, but at least you can give kind of the basics on the program, get the buyers excited about it. Yeah.
Giving them a bone.
And I'm halfway through chapter 3 of that book.
Good,
I don't know
good,
what to say.
good.
I have to listen to it again, but it's really good.
What book is this?
Yeah, what book?
So it's called Exactly What to Say.
We went to
for
our
First
meeting
Dates.
last week.
Sorry, I'm a kid.
I wasn't. We got Zoom, Chelsea be with us. I don't know why Chelsea wasn't.
Y'all know how Everly O, she's a screamer.
But yeah, so it's called Exactly What to Say. I've got 3 copies of it. They're kind of circulating now.
I think there's one at the North High School. So I think, or,
Yeah, I have one sitting on the coffee table there that I started to read, but you guys.
We're
But yeah,
trying
it's
to-
basically,
I was gonna say,
it's,
maybe
it's,
listen to
it's,
it.
it's objection handling, is what it is.
Oh, I love objections.
Yeah.
you love handling.
Love it.
All right, Tommy.
Nothing at the moment for listing our buyers. I do have a meeting with Jordan today, to go over some farming areas. I am like working through my contacts and sending out the personal letters, like I said, I'm hopefully gonna send out by the end of the week 60 letters from shooting.
Wow.
And so like I.
Your hand hurts.
So I'm doing like, my goal is 60 by the end of the week, so, but yeah, I have a lot of friends that like, I said, like retail that like, you know, either they've already bought a home or they're kind of like in the area, so I'm just, hopefully I can get someone from there, so. But that's my goal, and then I'll reach back out to them next week and I'll just kind of like sequence it for 2 weeks, so I'll work that out.
So, just to help the new people and us old folks too could do it, is if you know.
Old and experience, right? Not old-
Experience, I didn't have to know that. Age, experience, more experience. But, this is what we did in bold class is, you can text message all your people, letting them know, I mean, you did hand, which is beautiful, right? But you can also do like a raffle for them. Say, hey, so like my thing was like, hey, this is Jasmine, cause I don't remember everybody. This is Jasmine, Liz, I'm now with blah, blah, blah. I'm just letting you know that I'm a realtor, just in case you didn't know, I'm a realtor now. And hey, I'm putting everyone into a raffle, would you wanna be in it? That's all it is, it's just saying, you know, just introducing myself, and you can put them in a raffle. So all I did was the Home and Garden Show, which was like $8, I did 2 tickets, $16, and so something like that, if you wanted to do that, but it gets you out there to them, and it kind of breaks that ice of introducing yourself and stuff. And then they're like, oh, I'm gonna win something, so I might do something like that here, but cause now I've done, forms on Google where you can capture their information name. And so that's what I'm gonna do next time. So if you wanted to do that, if you wanna be in my raffle, hey, fill out this form and I'll put you in my raffle. I didn't do that last time. So I didn't capture names and emails and stuff. I mean, I had names and numbers, I didn't capture emails. So that's an idea for you guys.
You're gonna wrap Roger Stanley.
No, this is, I'm probably gonna give it to my daughter. She's gonna share.
Anything else, Tommy?
Doing a contract with Lori too this week, well, I already did it, but like Shelton has part 2 next week.
Yeah.
It's actually very informative,
Yeah.
so
No, those are very.
lots of notes,
Yeah.
but it's good,
So
so.
quick
And it's
testimonial.
CD, so you got a head start on that too.
Yeah.
Testimonial to that. Both my sellers and my buyers in those offers and contracts, there was possession after close. There's an updated form. It's the post-possession closing addendum that I learned about in contracts too. And it was like kind of hot off the press, like she had them making copies and they brought it in during the presentation, right? So in one of my, transactions, the buyer's agent sent over the outdated form.
Mhm.
And it was kind of nice to be able to say, actually, there's an updated form.
Yep.
That's the current, I mean, he basically was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me. He's like, would you mind sending me that document?
Yeah.
And we'll send it back, we'll get it
So
signed
you were
and send it back.
schooling an
So
agent who's been in
it
business
was-
way longer than
It
you.
was kind of nice,
Yeah.
but had I not been, I mean,
Yeah.
and I've been contracts too twice now, I
I'm keeping my
think.
go, and it's great, like she's, I don't know,
There's always something
Very
new,
focused, yeah.
especially contracts too.
What day are they on?
it's, well, I thought it was Tuesday, but it's Wednesday, so this time, I
Okay.
swear.
Been.
Each one is offered once a month.
Have you been?
I've been to contracts too, I've never been to contracts.
I haven't been to
So
either yet.
contracts one basically takes you
Cause they
through
were on
like,
Thursdays
whole
and I
contract.
worked on Thursdays
Yeah.
every week and now they've changed for the summer, so maybe I can go.
Yeah.
Contracts,
Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
contracts one is the purchase contract,
Right.
contract
Walk
two
through
is all the addendums.
all the amendments and the language to
And the language,
use and where to put
So if
it.
she's doing
I
the
got
language,
that
also I
class.
think
Yeah.
next week on Monday.
Do
or-
I want to
I
like,
saw that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some like language class.
just get to go because of my crazy, that's on my calendar.
Yeah.
Lori is,
Word count or
like,
something.
Lori,
Yeah.
Lori
Yeah,
doesn't
and
play.
your
No,
headshots,
she
doesn't play.
your
but
headshots were good, like you
she's
didn't need to
precise.
come, like you
Yeah.
much rather should have went contract. That's why I was like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Go.
She's precise. She's precise, but she's like with customer service, but precise. Does that make
So-
sense?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like,
She's always
you
like-
say it nicely, but assertive, like, you
Well,
know.
and I,
very
and I
assertive.
saw, I don't know when it is off the top of my head, but I saw Lori has a class coming up that I would recommend
Yeah,
for all you
that's-
guys.
The
About
words.
the-
of-
yeah,
It's
like,
Monday.
it's, I don't remember what it was called, like. it's
Word
kind of-
That's like,
Yeah.
But it's how you say things and the
Yes.
language you use, the vocabulary you use makes a big difference, and
Yeah.
I totally believe that.
You know, we should have like one, like a text message,
11 on Monday.
awareness, like when people use certain words, cause they could come across as very rude. And some, like, I almost fired a lender, one of my favorite lenders, because he kept on using specific words that kind of were triggers. And my husband had to calm me down, like, he had to literally, so I was like, you know what, I wonder how many times I've done that and been misunderstood.
Yeah.
So,
I thought it was a very intriguing class topic, I would recommend.
Uh-huh.
So there's a
Back to
whole,
the, contrast class, is it?
it's
were
sort of
they-
like the
should I wait for
text
the
etiquette.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Like,
the
it's
text
environment.
No,
Yeah.
so I've been to contracts too, I have
Not
never been to
using
contracts
emojis,
one,
like always
so I
typing
don't feel like you have to have it
There's-
in that order.
It's-
So yeah. no,
You're
go
going
ahead.
through
It's
keywords.
11:30, so we might wonder.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
literally today, okay. Well, do you guys wanna go to that? I have to meet with Kia.
not today, is it? Is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait,
My
what?
wife,
Monday.
it's 11:30.
It's Monday at
No,
11. Monday at 11.
Yeah.
I was just saying someone might be coming in.
But we do have to wrap up because Kia's waiting for me. So, Miranda.
What's happening?
So Miranda got licensed, just a few days ago. This is our newest
Yes,
agent.
it's her turn.
So I'm sure you don't have listings for buyers yet.
You never
but-
know.
But welcome, and if there's anything you'd like to say to the
Yeah, so we had talked, I kind of have like an idea. So we had talked before that we just built our home. And so we didn't know until we were in the process, like, one, we had to find an agent to sell our home, which I'd already known one, Chief Keller Williams, that's why I kind of came here. And also with the bill, there's a lot of money on the table that if you don't pick a sponsoring agent essentially on your side as the buyer of the
The
bill,
builder just.
the builder just pockets it.
Right, you don't get a cheaper
So-
price if you don't use an agent.
Exactly, and we are in, up north in Delaware, so we have like Berlin Manor, Glen Ross, that's where we're at, so I already have relationships with some of the builders because I have them on my phone, like to text them.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of something I wanna pursue, also, they're about to build a new part of the division right behind my house, and the model's literally gonna be.
You need to like focus on
walk
that.
it out.
You need-
So I think that would be a good plan, like a good.
Who's that
focus.
builder?
I don't know if it's Pulte or Clay, because we are Fisher.
Okay.
But Fisher is popping up, like there's another one they're starting, Pulte's starting a new one.
Mhm.
Our neighborhood is down to 2 homes to sell, but they're all around us, there's a ton of new subdivisions that are just like,
What's your address? I'm gonna see if I can find the subdivision behind it and see if I can find the builder rep for it.
Yeah, it's
out.
2744.
We're coming over.
What's Berlin Manor Drive? Yeah, and it's like literally our backyard, there's a tree line, and then that's where the model's gonna be at.
Are you by the Y?
No.
Why?
You're over by like Berlin High School?
No.
Yeah. Kind of like.
Yeah, so you have Glen Ross, Berlin High School, so where the tornado hit down, that was our backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in Berlin Manor, the division just, I mean, it's literally finishing right now.
I'm pretty close to you.
Yeah, so that is kind of my goal, because I've already got some contacts, like
Mhm.
people on my phone, some of the salesmen.
No, that's great. That's really, we'll definitely have more conversations.
Yeah, because I have no idea where even,
Is
like,
it,
Yes.
is it
channel that.
like over here?
Yeah, that's my house, right? So,
Where are they building in relation to your house?
right here.
Okay, so,
Same.
yeah, so that's Hyatt for their needs.
Yeah.
I just wanna know.
So there's a Whispering Pines and then Berlin Manor that are attached, and then there's a strip in between that they're developing.
Ooh, interesting.
So Miranda, I'll need to schedule a time when Sam and I can meet with you. Have you already done your onboarding with the office?
I'm in the middle of it right now.
Okay,
I was working
okay.
on it last night, and
Okay.
that's who's texting me.
So yeah, so once you finish that, reach out to me. I'll want Sam to be there for it too, because there's some stuff that she does as well. But yeah, we'll set that up in the next few days. Another good thing.
Yeah, sounds great.
You'd like me to see me? We have when you're. It's an honor getting.
So sorry.
What?
So sorry.
Watching porn over here.
You weren't supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Not like a 70s sitcom.
Yeah.
74 and 76.
I mean, so many jokes in my head right now.
All right.
So, anyways, I just have, same buyers, but I have a buyer that, I thought she wanted just like one certain area, and I had to tell her like, hey, there's nothing for that. So she was able to expand herself to rent all east side, basically. So I'll be working on that here, and just, yeah, I just got several buyers that close it up.
Yeah, you're right on the
So,
curve.
that's it.
Yeah.
I want the blessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy now. So, it's all good. Trying to get more, that's it. So, the pipeline.
I want more listings too.
Oh, you?
I want more listings. There's nothing wrong with wanting more.
That's true, that's true.
Well, guys, thanks for coming today. Sam, do you know if anyone had this address?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I just wonder if I could meet with Kia in here. I guess I'll just stay in here until someone.
Does someone get you out?
There's a bigger room downstairs that, can probably be rented out for next time if we all start showing up
The
like
vision
that.
room, it's the one that's across from the,
It's actually the same size.
Yeah.
I looked into that. It's
Oh,
got the
it
same
is?
exact number of seats and
Yep.
everything, yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, the
Yeah.
one in the,
The one by the front desk.
no, on this side,
Oh.
in the KW title area.
Oh.
But I don't know,
Oh,
maybe that's
oh,
because
it's-
Brian,
Oh,
yeah,
Northwest title.
yeah, I know it was title.
yeah.
Just in case, I do have a listing coming up in Dayton. If you have any Dayton buyers, it's a cute home.
Where is it in
Completely remodeled. Oh gosh, I don't have the address on me right now, but it's really cute. The owner remodeled the house, really nice.
What's the price point?
That's gonna be about 149.9, 159.9, something like that. Yeah, tell me.
Well, no, my partner's sister, she's kind of flaky right now. But she wants to buy a house, she's renting. And that might, actually have to get pre-approved and all that stuff, but
I
like,
want to make you wait.
she lives in Dayton.
This
She lives
house
in
is,
Springfield though. Is that how close it is, like where in Dayton?
oh, I don't know, I gotta
Let
look.
me know.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
How long is it? Yeah, I
If she-
sure.
if it's-
And that's the
She-
report.
it's very- She'll never send
You-
you, like,
Yeah.
Chelsea, it's a tremendous.
Yeah, we actually met with the builder that met that neighborhood, like several times. Her name's Chelsea Baker. She wants a very nice lady bedroom.
Like film the-
I'm assuming that script has to be our ordinance. Did you say you fixed it? Yeah, it is out. Yeah, so that's for, that's for,
Yeah.
and that script is DR.
Unfortunately,
like that.
Just reach out to me, like, what's your schedule activity?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, send it anyway.
Okay.
Like, I'll look at it and review it tomorrow. I will keep it.
Okay, not tomorrow, because my son has a doctor's
Yeah.
appointment.
She's like very responsible, like I love what I'm doing.
Okay.
I kind of dropped him back off the date.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
We did it.
Interesting more of that box office event.
Okay.
We,
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that's my
My
husband.
husband's working.
I
I'll make sure you were. No, I appreciate it, but yeah, no,
Time.
we like to talk about
And,
that.
I'll give you one of these too.
Fine.
Right, come in, July, time room.
Okay.
Yeah.